Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Communications from Home. This is my weekly evening show right here at Star Nation's organization's main fan page on Facebook. I have to say that I just loved Connie's show tonight, didn't you? I hope you were able to catch it and watch it. Yeah, it was kind of hard to let her go. I know. I know. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. Those that are in the live chat, thank you so much for being with me this evening. And also, those that'll be watching the show by the recording version, thank you too, because I know you're making time for us in your busy day. So, this show is all about empaths and manifesting. Now, why would I want to talk about that when we got so much stuff going on out there, right? Well, I have to tell you that when I sat down with my spiritual team and asked them, well, what are we talking about this week? This is what they brought to me. And so we'll see where it goes. But in the meantime, before we get too far down the road, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find our live stream and I'm going to send it over to my news feed.
I got the group.
Okay. Thank you, Rob. Rob is doing such a good job producing our shows tonight. You know, it's he did 2 shows tonight, and it was kind of like running down that virtual hallway to get both shows in. So I really do appreciate it. Let's see. I know we're here somewhere. Nope. That wasn't it. And as soon as I find it, I'm going to send it over there. Well, isn't that something? I see that we're live. So, okay, I got it. Yay. Yay. All right. So I am going to send this over to my newsfeed. There we go. I'm just going to let them say, please join me. Because, you know, one of the things about being an empath is it is a gift. I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but it really is. And so we're going to be able to do that. And I also promised a couple people that I would let them know that I'm on. And oops, let's see. We got the Julies. I got to do the Julies because I promised. And, you know, we, for some reason, talk about that law of attraction. Star Nations, we have a really high proportion of empaths in our community. And there's a reason for that, right? Like attracts like. And so, and it's kind of nice because we can talk about being an empath, whether you've known you've been one for a really long time, or if you just kind of figured it out. You know, there's some things that we can share about that the rest of us are going, oh yeah, that's me. I got that one. And or other times it's like, holy smokes, I didn't think about that. So tonight is all about how, as an empath, our emotions, because we feel them so deeply, others' emotions, right? And how does that affect our manifesting? Because what I tell you what really, really is important is to be able to discern which one's yours and which one is someone else's, right? Because when we're feeling someone else's emotions, sometimes it is so intense that it really does feel like it's our own, right? And so when you're trying to manifest something and it comes to you relatively quickly, but you're going, oh, wait a minute, that's not what I had in my mind and in my heart. It was somebody else's, right? Or it turns out kind of inside out, and you're going, I don't understand, and that's so frustrating. And I had planned on doing a second half of this show and asking Ed Langen to come on with me so that we can actually kind of dive a little bit deeper into this piece about when you're an empath and you're manifesting, because our emotions are the fuel for our co-creations, right? And so how does that all go together? Don't you ever wonder about that? I do. I do. So for those people who are in the live chat with me, and even if you're watching it by the recorded version, could you please let me know, drop it into the comments about whether you know that you are an empath or that you suspect that you are, okay? And here's a little rule of thumb, is that when you're trying to figure out, am I an empath or am I not an empath? It's when you're feeling fine 1 minute. You're feeling good. You're feeling happy. You're go-lucky. You're having a good day, right? And then all of a sudden, it's like somebody flipped a switch, or you turned a corner and you're angry, or you're super sad, right? And where did that come from? I was feeling really good. Why am I so angry? I don't have anything to be angry about, but I am really pissed off, right? Chances are that either you walked through somebody's residual energy, right? Or somebody is in your vicinity that has those really extreme emotions. And so you're picking it up, right? And so when you first start out, it's like, how do I know that's not mine? Well, here's a little tip, is that you have to be prepared. You really do. And you have to take care of yourself, right? Right, empaths out there, you have to take care of yourself. That's probably the most important piece, because this truly is a gift. And in order to use your gift, you have to learn how what it's about, right? There's parts of us that can remember. There's parts of us that remember how to embrace it, how to use it, why to use it, when to use it, because we follow our intuition, right? It's when our mental mind kind of jumps in and gets things kind of spun kind of tight that we end up having some issues. So, Rob, let's see who's in the chat with us tonight, okay? Let's see who's here. Hey, Lynn's here. I know Connie is so good. I just love listening to her. I really do. And I wish I could have let her go to those last three people, but we're gonna get those taken care of. I'm gonna help her with that a bit and get things lined up for her. Yeah. So thank you for being here, Lynn. Barbie, that was awesome. And your message, I tell you what, talk about being an empath. Because I could feel you, I could feel your mom, I could feel Connie and her team, and it was like, took my breath, really. So good. So good. And I hope you feel a little bit better, Barbie. I hope you do. Thank you for being here, by the way. Yeah. Hey, Deborah. Oh my gosh, your reading was good too. And it's always so good to see you in the chat. I love it when I see you there. Thank you so much. Did you know that Deborah is one of the lovely souls who help with Star Nations? Yes. She helps me with the magazine. Yeah, she makes my life a little bit easier. So thank you, Deborah, for being here for lots of reasons. All right, and Cindy's here too. Yay, Cindy. Cindy Ferris is here too. Thank you, Cindy, for being here. Appreciate it. One of our longtime listeners. Carol's here too. I'm here with you. Yes, you are. Yeah. Good one, Carol. Glad you're here. And Bree, oh my gosh, Bree's here too. She says, I know I'm an empath. That's good. That's really good. And are you embracing the gift? Because it is really a loving gift. It really is. I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but it truly is. So let me know. Do you embrace it? Yeah. Rab says, I know I'm an empath, and it certainly does not feel like a gift. I know, because I've been there too, Rab. I really have. When I was in my 20s, my 30s, yeah. Especially, no, I'm going to take that back. More like when I was a teenager and trying to figure all that out, right? Yeah. But once you kind of get a handle on it, it is a gift. It is a gift. Yeah. Helped me more than one time in my job with the state, let me tell you. Hey, Sabrina, good to have you here. Good to have you here. Yeah. Yep. And Cindy says, I believe I am. I bet you are. Sandra says, always been. That's right. We came in that way, right? We all did. If you're an empath and it's a gift that you came in with. Yeah. Kimberly says, yes, I am an empath for sure. Yeah, it's one of those I am statements, right? I am an empath. Say it with me. I am an empath. Somebody says, your meditations have. Do we have a second half of that? Star Nations has been great help during these times. Oh, that is so good to hear. Thank you, Cindy, for sharing that. I'm so glad it is, because it's one of the reasons why I started it. I was trying to figure out how I could be of assistance, right? And every time I tried to do something through Star Nations as a business, good idea, but the energy would fall out from underneath it. And it's like, so I'm talking to my team and I said, I want to do something. Show me. What is this that we're going to be doing together, right? And it came through very clear, very loud. Do what you love. Do what you've been doing the best all these years. And see, I've been giving guided meditation since 1986. Yeah, it's a long time, right? And so, yeah, so I'm so glad it's been helpful, Cindy. Really, thank you so much for sharing that, because there's been many people who have shared that with me. Did you know that some people are actually, because a lot of people are working from home now, right? And they fit it into their day, their work day, so that they take a break at that time so they can fit their meditation in. Isn't that cool? So thank you, Cindy, for bringing that message. Carol says, I went and looked up Raphael and Saphael. Archangels are new to me. Oh, they are. Something to learn about. Yeah. Connie definitely is a good person to help with that. And so is, let me think, Eddie Mullins. He writes for us. Maureen Mann, definitely. Thank you. Did you hear that voice? I heard a voice. It sounded just like somebody I know. That was Rob. Okay, so yeah, Maureen Mann. And maybe Rob, if you could just kind of jot down a note or something about maybe we'll do a special show or something around the archangels. Who are they? How do you connect with them? That kind of thing. I know Maureen has done a show about that, I think early on, but we'll have to figure that one out. We can get you some information, Carol. Okay. And Bree says, I am now. For a long time, I mixed it up with mental illnesses. Oh, yeah. Yep. And if you add in the fact that you're clairaudient, right? Yep. Sometimes that the DSM-3 isn't exactly correct. Yeah, because when you're feeling everybody else's emotions and acting on their emotions rather than your own, and you're also hearing your guides talking to you, your spiritual team talking to you, and yeah. So that's why a lot of us, what we end up doing is isolating, right? Going, what is that military term? It's called going dark, right? Where we kind of disappear and we isolate. So sometimes, given what we're going through right now with the COVID-19 and with the being home, right? There's a whole bunch of us that are saying, I kind of like this because we don't have to be out there feeling everybody else's emotions directly. I'm not saying that we're not, because we certainly are, but we're doing it from our own space, right? So thank you, Bree, and I'm glad you're embracing it. That's good. Barbie says, have you ever had anyone jealous of your ability? Yes. Yes. Yep. Oh my gosh. Let's see. High school. I could think of at least two people there. And and fast forwarding, because I kind of hit out in the 80s kind of thing. Yeah, some people at work, some people in the spiritual community. But it's a life lesson. It's a two-way street, It's as much theirs as it is mine. So what am I going to do with my side of the street, right? All I can say is don't be small. Don't make yourself smaller so that the other person feels better. Okay, because it's never going to be enough. So don't make yourself small. Don't take your gift and put a cloak over it. Right? Don't hide it under something. That's not what we came here to do. Yeah. Okay. So was that Carol? Carol says, I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes I know things I have no way of knowing. I just know. I accept it and grateful for it and want to use it for the highest good. And you're in the right place, right time, right place, Carol. Really. That is one of the clairs, clear sentient, clear knowing, right? And a lot of times you don't know you don't even hear anything. You don't see anything. You just know it. Right. And let me tell you, every single one of us have all of the clairs. Yep. We have all the clairs. It's just that we have a propensity to one or two or three. So you have a primary one, right? You have a primary one. You have a secondary and a third. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't use the rest of them, because you do. They may come in not weaker, but more subtle than the others. So it's like being clairaudient. Many times it's like somebody is sitting right next to me talking to me, right? And telling me a story that is so I can feel the emotions in it, and I can so much that I can actually see the picture. I can identify with it, right? Yeah. Paul, my poor husband, lots of times I'll say, did you just hear that? And he'll turn and look at me, now would you hear? It's like, because it's like somebody was standing right next to me. Why? Because they were. One of my team was standing right next to me and said it. Right? So, yeah. So, there's embrace it, be grateful for it. Most definitely. And you can always ask your spiritual team for more help with it. How do I learn how to use this better? Right? Show me how to use this better. What part of it that I need to focus on? Those kinds of questions, and asking them for help, and they'll do it. They will. Yeah. All right. So I got a couple things I want to share with you guys about being an empath and manifesting. Okay. And I had to ask my team, why do we want to talk about that now, when so many people are reaching week 3 in their home isolation, right? Or some people in the actual quarantine because they have the virus or had the virus, right? And so the initial shock has worn off a bit. The edge has maybe been taken off from it. Everyone's normal, everyday routine got upended, right? How you usually start your day got thrown out the window, right? Especially if you have children, because now you've become their teacher too, right? Yeah. And here we are a few weeks into it, and many of us have found a little bit of our balance in getting our feet underneath us, right? We have carved out a new normal, or perhaps even a temporary normal, right? So that we can we're functioning better. And I put functioning in there because many times we have to reestablish some of the rituals that we have, right? And everybody has rituals, whether they put spirit into it or not. It's the what do you do when you get up in the morning? Do you take a shower? Do you have breakfast first? Do you have your first cup of coffee before you take a shower? And some of those things got kind of twisted in a way. And so we're finding what our new normal is. And some people are feeling a little bit more self-assured, right? A little bit more. I'm not saying everything is out there that's fixed. No. But we're finding ways to be more resilient, right? Okay. And here comes the manifesting part, because we do it all the time. Us two-leggeds, us humans, we do it all the time. Some people do it more consciously than others, but we're always creating. That was a gift that we were given by the Creator, was to be a creator. We create, co-create all the time. Now, as an empath, we have a way of taking in information of all kinds and feeling it. You might say that it's our primary language. Okay? You know how some people are bilingual? Well, as an empath, yes, we're multifaceted. And there's a word I wrote down here that we have to learn how to interpret, to speak bilingually, but but to do it energetically, right? It's not necessarily our words in a language. You could say that being an empath, the information that we bring in is that light language, right? It's energetic. And we're bringing it in all the time, just like everybody else. It's just that the way that we understand it and bring it in is through our emotions. And so we have to learn how to balance that out. Because when we're manifesting, the emotions is the fuel that literally catapults your creation into the physical world. And then it's up to you to ground it to the earth plane, right? Yeah. So this is a reason, I think a really good reason as an empath, is to learn how to discern what's yours and what's someone else's, what's their energy and what's yours, to balance your head and your heart. So you're really living and making your decisions from your high heart, okay? This is coming from a place of strength. And so when you're getting ready to create, co-create your next experience, because our world has been upended. There's no going back to the old world. There might be some aspects there, but no one is going to be able to go back to the old way of doing things. So what does your world, how do you want it to be? Right? So as you're spending time at home, and you know, not everybody has those spare moments, because if you have kids, you don't have a lot of that. I realize that. But as an empath, I think it's important that you spend a little time daydreaming on what you want to create next. It's not that you're unless you want to. It's not that you're going to create it for tomorrow. You want to understand, what kind of world do you want to live in now? What kind of experience do you want now? Because your emotions are going to play a big part in that. Huge part. So here's this. In your self-care, because it's important for everybody, but as an empath, you really do have to put yourself on the top of the list, not at the bottom, at the top, right? You have to make sure that you're rested, that you're hydrated, And most importantly, that you're grounded, centered, and protected. Because once we're like that, we can, from a very centered and empowered place, we can be in service to others. We can actually help. We can actually help transmute some of those lower emotions. Okay, because there's still a lot of fear out there. There's still some panic out there. There's still some of all that, right? And so as an empath, that's part of our gift. We can actually transmute that into a higher frequency and then release it. Yeah, that's about the embracing part. That's the gift part. Right. All right. So there's a whole bunch to this. There really is. And it's probably not enough to even cover in an hour time. There is something that's going to be happening on the 26th of this month. Is a class. It's an online class. I decided that we really did need to meet to make some time for this. Thank you, Rob. I love having a producer. Yeah, it's Sunday, April 26th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's Thriving as an Empath During the Great Awakening. I think we need to get some other things out there because I can't cover it all in an hour. And there's some things that I really think that it needs to be more of a class so that you can actually work through it during the class and practice it, right, in the class, so that or let's put it this way, remembering it, and then we can always chat about how to actually apply it. It's going to be extremely extremely affordable. Julie, Shumway, and I have been working on how to roll this out because we really do understand that financially some things have changed a great deal for a lot of people. Okay, but we still want to be here to support you and to have that energy exchange, right? And so we've come up with something called a tiered approach. So there'll be 3 different prices for you. And whatever you feel that you can afford, that's the one you select. Okay. So I think the lowest amount is I think $33 for a 2.5 hour class. Yeah. Right. So look for that. Julie's working on getting the Eventbrite ticket formulated, and we'll get it out onto the website. So I'm hoping, got my fingers crossed, that by Friday we'll have it all ready for you guys, and we're going to be doing it by Zoom. Okay. So thank you, Rob, for this, for putting that up. And the reason being is that as an empath, it's really important for us to do our every day, twice a day for some people, depending on what you use to ground, center, and protect. We really do need to do that so that you're in a much stronger position when you begin consciously co-creating your next experience, right? Yeah. Because I think some of us are almost ready to really turn our attention to that. And I want to be able to help you to be in a good position to take that on. So, and it's kind of exciting, you know? All right. Looking at the time. All right. So I just want to make sure that I covered. All right. So with the manifesting and the co-creation, the clearer we are. Georgie's playing upstairs. Did you hear that? I think he dropped his ball. That you're better, the better you are at co-creating. So this is the part about discerning. We have to discern whose emotion are we feeling, right? And if you haven't learned how to do that, or remembered how to do that, that really is the second step. Making sure that you're grounded, centered, and protected is number one. Okay. Number two is learning how to discern. Whose emotions are you feeling? And the thing is that it's something that is relatively easy to do. Unfortunately, most of us forget to do it. And this is where your communication with your spiritual team comes in, because they can really help you a lot. Show me, is this mine? Is this my anger? Is this my fear? Or is it someone else's? Right? Yeah. And if it's yours, then at least you know what you have to heal and what you have to release and to clear up that block, right? If it's someone else's, then you talk with your team and have them help you to release it, transmute it, let it go. It's not yours. Yeah, as an empath, we're not doing anyone, especially ourselves, any good by taking on someone else's emotions and holding on to them for them. No, we're not doing them any favors, and we certainly aren't doing ourselves any favors, right? We can help them to the point where we can transmute it for them. But I tell you what, if they don't deal with the root of the issue, it's going to get recreated, right? And this is the part that, as an empath, once you take it on for them the first time, and they feel so much better after being with you, right? That when it comes back, they'll contact you or they'll come see you so that they can feel better. And that's okay, as long as you know how to take care of yourself and how to encourage them to get their own healing done, right? Has anybody ever done that? More than once? I'm raising my own hand. More than once. That's how I know about this. It's by personal experience. So, Rob, let's get caught up with our audience in the chat. Gotta take a drink of water too. All right. Cindy says, I like Maureen Mann's course on the archangels. Yes, it was so good, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Deborah is saying, and sometimes therapists need more education and insight into empathy. Those who hear or see angels, God, whomever. Yes, it's true. Yep. I think it boils down to belief systems, really. That's what I think. My 2 cents. Yeah. Okay, Rob, next. Bree, wow, I used to feel like I had to make myself smaller because of the way people made me feel. Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy to do, is it, Bree? It's not, especially if you're an extrovert and you try to make yourself smaller so that someone else feels more comfortable. Yeah, it's not easy to do. And I have to say that, if you do that, it's never enough again. Because as soon as you start using your gift, then yeah. So Bree, I'm glad that you were able to identify that, really, because there's no reason to. There's no reason to. As long as you're coming from your heart, you're doing it in a good way, is what they say. In the good way, it'll all work out, and they'll have to deal with their own stuff, right? No judgment, just love them and point them in the direction to mind their own vibration, right? Yep. Okay, Brie, I got Georgie here stuck on me. Hey, Minnie, my sister, loved and shared. Thank you so much, Minnie. Love that, Minnie. One of my sisters. Sabrina says, are we jumping timelines or Wi-Fi acting up? I don't know. Everything's fine in the studio. Rob, did you notice anything?
I noticed nothing, but we are having a thunderstorm here in Michigan. I'm not sure what's going on elsewhere.
Okay. Yeah, we get clear blue skies here. So Maybe, could be Sabrina. We'll have to keep watch on that one. Check in, do that. Check in with your team and see, because it could very well be. We asked to jump timelines, didn't we? In that global meditation, so it's possible. All right. So Deborah is saying, I switched to my phone. It's no longer happening. Wow. I've got my phone right next to me, just in case. I always have it to monitor. And the picture looks good. I'm sure. Yeah, it doesn't look wobbly at all. I don't know. And Deborah doesn't live that far from me. Carol says, I want people to be nicer to each other and to tell the truth. Okay. Rob says, some people consider lying nicer. Well, what they call those little white lies, right? I have to say this. As an empath, when people lie to us, we can feel it. True? We can feel it. We sense it. And when you're comfortable with your gift and you're using it as best you can, right? For me, there comes a time when you can almost feel their thoughts too, right? I can tell you one story. Paul and I were waiting for our table at a restaurant. It was Friday night fish fry in Wisconsin. So if you know what that means, it was busy. And so we're sitting at the bar, and we're having a drink, and the bartender is nice guy. And we're talking, and he's talking to me, and I knew he was lying to me. I said, so why are you hiding out? If you are multilingual and you can do all of this, why are you bartending? Why are you hiding out? Yeah, he kind of took a step back. It's like, yeah. Well, it turns out that he had a drinking problem, and the only way that he was going to do anything with all of his gifts, was to deal with whatever it was that was causing the drinking, the out of balanced drinking, right? Yeah. So as an empath, we certainly can feel it. And how many people have felt that? I mean, Carol brought it up, so there must be something about it, right, Carol? That you can feel it, you can sense it. Yeah. I always say it's in the eyes. It's in the eyes. The eyes have it. Cindy says, I want to sponsor. Okay. All right. We'll let Julie know. Okay. And what Cindy is referring to is we're going to have the registration, not just for the upcoming class that's coming up, but probably all of our classes through the end of the year, I would imagine. And then we'll have to reevaluate to see if there's any changes for 2021. Okay. What I want to do is to be able to have it possible that for those people who are able to pay the full tuition, that they do. Okay. Or they can choose to pay the lower tuition, but also sponsor someone else that may not have the financial cash flow to be able to take a class, right? So in some ways, I guess we're calling it sponsorship, but in some ways, I suppose we could actually call it menopausal moment. I was going to say a word and it went away. That's like a gift, right? That's not the word I was thinking of, but so thank you, Cindy. And I will pass it on to Julie, and because she's helping to set that whole thing up. And so when we get to that point, yeah, if you know somebody in particular that you'd like to sponsor, whether it's a friend or a family member or something like that, just, when you make the payment, you'll have to let us know who and their email address. But if you just want to give somebody it, you don't know, you really don't know or don't care who, we can kind of match you guys up a bit and see how that works. Okay. All right. So thank you, Cindy. It's so nice. Sweet. Barbie says, how do you Zoom? Oh, I like that. I don't know. Sounds like fun, doesn't it, Barbie? Okay, it's really, really simple. Okay, you're going to have you can attend by computer if you want. And it'll be kind of like this, but we'll actually be able to see each other and have a conversation in real time, back and forth. All right. And so you'll have the link and you can click the link and it'll send you over to the classroom. Yeah. You can also attend by telephone. I mean, that's doable. It's not as fun, but it's doable. And so I think what we're going to do, Barbie, is that we might do a practice run. I have the mini class in the academy coming up. I think it's on Sunday, second Sunday of the month. Yikes. Yikes. Maybe what we'll do is a Zoom for that one, and then people can practice, right? How to get in, what to do. Yeah, and then that way we'll have help on hand to kind of help you walk you through it. I think that might be good. So thanks for asking, Barbie. That really might help some other people too. Okay, thanks, Barb. Carol says it isn't. The other person usually knows they are being lied to. So the nice lie is as bad as the deliberate untruth. Both come from a place of arrogance. I agree. You know? Yeah. And I tell you what, those people who are lying and you kind of, you're giving them the side eye kind of thing, they know. They know. Depending on who it is, yeah. So as an empath, that is one of the reasons why it's a gift, because we can tell. And when we go in to buy a car, right? One time I told Paul, I said, because the guys that are selling the cars, the lady walks in with a guy and they think that all we're there to do is to pick out the color, right? No, I'm going in to assess the situation and let Paul know is they're lying to you. Tell, say, I want to talk to your manager. Yeah. So I'm the one that says they're lying or they're telling the truth. Yeah, it's part of the gift. Rob says the Thunder Beans are out tonight in the Michigan Thumb. Gamisha must say none are back. It always makes me smile, those first thunderstorms. Okay, I'm looking at the time. You got a couple minutes left. I want to make sure. I want to talk a little bit about the self-care, okay? Because when you're an empath and you're manifesting, all right, so number one, you want to be grounded, centered, and protected, right? And then you want to be able to discern what is your emotions and what someone else's, right? Okay. And then you have to take care of yourself, because how we read, receive the information, we need to be able to clean our instrument. We need to clean our space clearing tools, right? Okay. So I tell you what, being an empath, salt baths, right? Really good salt baths are the answer to so much. Salt baths, or even a salt scrub in the shower is also helpful, because it does more than just clean you. You clean your body, it cleans your auric field, right? And it grounds you. You want to make sure that you're rested and you're hydrated. You also, as this is the hard one, you also want to have a good, clean diet. Now, that just doesn't include the food that you ingest. It does. But it also means anything that you read, anything that you watch, anything that you listen to, anything that comes into your field. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, this is where the self-discipline kind of comes in. Yeah. This one was the hardest one for me. So in the food, right? In the food, good water, good clean water. That's the biggest. The second one is if you are a carnivore, if you do eat meat, and there's some of us that still do, right? Is that you're blessing your food. You want to know where your food comes from if you can, right? That it's handled with respect, maybe even love if it can get it that far, right? So you want to bless your food. You want to raise the vibration to that. Yeah. Some of us feel better when we're having a little animal protein. I was a vegan for a long time. I was a vegetarian for a long time. And I did better as a vegetarian than I did a vegan. I have to say that. But I also, since menopause, I do a heck of a lot better with a little bit of animal protein. And so we try to do grass fed, we try to do, cage free, free roaming, that kind of stuff. So what you ingest really does make a difference. You're going to feel so much better too. As an empath, we can feel when our food is not handled with the best intentions, right? And we can also feel it when it's made with love. We certainly can. Maybe that's why I used to like pastries so much. I don't know. And so you want to make sure that you do those things. All right. So, and I know we're going to go over just a little bit, okay? Because I think this last one is really important. And that is when you're an empath and you feel those emotions that scare you. How many people have ever been frightened, scared by an emotion that they don't know where it's coming from? Right? I forgot to turn on my light back there. I'm almost done with my show and I realize I didn't turn on my light in the background. Oh my God. All right. So if you ever feel an emotion that frightens you, you really do have to turn to your spiritual team, turn to your angels, your guardian angel, those that protect you, right? And you want to have them put a boundary between you and whatever emotion that is. Okay, give you some energetic distance from it, right? So that holding it out there in more than an arm's length away. Okay, because it's important that you do discern about it. Whose is it? Is it mine or is it someone else's? What is it? Why am I being with this experience with it? Because it could be about your soul growth and that you're ready to handle those kind of emotions, to transmute them. But if it frightens you, you can ask your team to take it away. Okay? There's no reason to have it sit in your field at all. At all. Not many people know about that. You ask them to take it away. Now, that doesn't relieve you of your responsibility to find out more about it. You need to find out why it came into your energy field. What was it meant for? Why did I have to experience that? Okay. Yeah. So this is where your communication with your team is really important. So if you haven't formed a working relationship with your spiritual team, that's another high priority item. You may have some, I don't know, I don't want to call it time, but space. That's a good one. Some space in this home isolation thing that we're all going through, that you can connect with your team more consciously, right? About anything and everything. Have a conversation with them. Talk to them about what you're, I wish I could get rid of this hair, what you can fix for supper, right? Have a conversation with them. Practice it. If you already have a good relationship, communication with them, then asking them, how do I learn or remember how to communicate energetically with the emotions as my first language? Okay. So you get some homework, a little bit of homework. The other thing is that you can also remember your tools. Remember your tools, your energetic tools. Remember your skills. All those classes that you've ever taken, there's aspects in those classes. That's why you were drawn to them, for you to use them. It might not be the entire class, but there could be a piece of information in there that is very important for you to be able to use now. Okay? And also remember your friends, your allies. What is that? Stones, crystals, essential oils, flower essences, right? Yeah. We have so much that could be helping us. We just have to remember to use them. Okay. So what does this have to do with empath and manifesting? I'm helping you get prepared. We're planting seeds tonight. Planting seeds. Because it's not too far down the road that we're going to be co-creating our next earth experience, right? And really, here at Star Nations, we've been talking about this stuff for a long time. Talking about the importance of grounding, right? Talking a lot about application of your gifts and your skills, right? About healing your emotional and mental traumas. Felt like a broken record a lot of times. But here we are. And we're about ready to step into a new world. And so I would like to help you to get prepared for that. So tonight's show is all about preparation. And you can help prepare a little bit more if you want to come to the class on Sunday the 26th. We'll make sure you guys get all that information. So if you can join us, that would be great. We can go dive a little bit deeper into it in 2.5 hours. Okay. All right. So Rob, I know we're at the top of the hour, but let's get caught up with the comments in the chat before we say goodnight. Cindy says, I don't know what being centered is. Okay. So being centered is your energy. When we do the meditation in the morning, I'm having you bringing down creator energy down through you. And then we envision it with a gentle spiral. For women, clockwise, men counterclockwise. And in that spiral, what happens is that your energies, both your sacred male and sacred feminine, sacred masculine, sacred feminine energies being balanced and centered. In other words, everything is aligned. That's being centered. Okay. And so that when the energy flows through you, there's an alignment there, that there's an easy, direct flow. Make sense? Yeah. Thanks for that question, though. It's a good one, because somebody else probably had it too. Deborah says, love salt baths and scrubs. Me too. In fact, Violet's or Healing Organics, her salt scrub is so good. So good. I love it. And Deborah says, at my desk someday I will sit there. That's right. That's your desk right behind me that you haven't used yet. That's right. You will. One of these days. Carol says, I'm working on identifying my team. I discovered my dad is on my team. I believe Raphael as well. I'm learning. Yeah, we have, each one of us has a huge team. It's not just one or two or a handful. There's many, 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 many. Guides, guardians, angels, teachers, allies, right? Power animals, totems, elementals, devas, those nature spirits, the ancestors, star beings. It's a full complement. Yeah. And so it's good that you're getting to know them. But Carol, please don't get caught up in the details, the minutia of it. It's more important that you recognize when you're with them and when they're with you. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for the compliment. It's always good to have you here. Barbie says, back to Zoom. Is there an app that I need for my computer? Well, not so much for your computer. Not so much for your computer. You can go to zoom.com, right? And if you want, you can kind of poke around, take a tour. Yeah. Because really what we do is we'll send out a link and you can just click on the link and I'll take you directly there. There's you don't even have to do any toll booths or anything. Yeah. Actually pretty easy. If you're on your phone or on an iPad, you're going to need the app. That you do need. If you're on the phone or iPad or tablet, I should say, tablet, you'll need the app for that. Rob says, I will download automatically when you click the meeting link. That's right. That's why they call it Zoom. It goes fast. All right. So I think we're caught up in the chat. I wanted to thank you all for being with me this evening and in the chat. And if you're watching the recorded version, thank you so much. One of the things that I want to say is that if there's anything that resonated with you in our conversation tonight, I always say my suggestion is to embrace it. And then watch, sense, feel, see how the energy is unfolding around you and where the information can be helpful, right? But if it didn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. It's okay. Acknowledge it. It didn't resonate. No problem. You're not going to hurt my feelings one little bit. Okay. It's more important that you identify it. Perhaps you're the messenger. Maybe you're going to be in a conversation and you say, you know what? Neshi had a show about that the other day. I didn't know why I sat through the whole thing, but I did. And maybe it's more for you and you can just share the link with them, share the show with them, right? And then you're done. You're the messenger. So don't worry about it, okay, if it didn't resonate. But if it did, is just to embrace it and then watch to see where this information helps you, okay? All right. So let's see, tonight's Tuesday. Sandra's here. Hello, Sandra. She says, thank you again for sharing. You have lovely energy. Oh, thank you, Sandra. So do you. I'm so glad you're here. All right. So, Barbie says, learning stuff. Who said you can't teach an old? I never said that. I would never say that because tricks are good, right? Yeah, and I love dogs. I love our four-leggeds. Okay, so tomorrow night is Wednesday night. Tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. is my afternoon show in the pub on this page, okay? And it's the weekly card draw. I draw a card or cards to see what the energy is for the week for us as a group, okay? And we get to have a conversation around it. And let me tell you, some of those cards that were being drawn, the month before COVID hit, it was some of those cards I think some of you would remember because the Ascended Masters came up I don't know how many times in the months prior to. All right, so join me at 3 p.m. for that spiritual roundtable. And then tomorrow night is also Soul Connections with Polly Jola Bay. Yeah, it's a healing night, right? So if you have some healing that you're looking toward doing, bring your intention with you with your spiritual team. And the first half is all about healing. The second half is Polly Jo does card draws. So if you are interested in having a mini reading with Polly Jo, that happens in the second half of her show tomorrow night, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. And then let's see, Thursday. Thursday is kind of a busy day. In fact, so busy, I'm going to have to bring this up. Thursday is, help me out here, Rob, is, it used to be, okay, so
Chakra
thank you, Chakra Sessions with Polly Jo Bay at 7 p.m. And she is talking about, hang on, I got it here, scrolling. Okay, she's talking about advanced chakra balancing. Is that it? Yeah, I think so. I thought she already talked about that. Anyway, there is her show at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then after her comes, does she have somebody after her? No, it's before her. That is Ed Langen. Ed's up on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. That's it. I knew I'd get it. And he's talking about spiritual principles. Okay. So
Actually, Thursday, Polly Jo is doing Goddess Energy.
What do I have here? I don't. Okay.
I'll talk to you about that after.
Did I tell you how much I like Rob producing the shows for me? I do. keeps me straight here. All right. So I hope you can join us for one of those shows or all of them. It'd be fun to see you in the chats and the information being shared, being useful to you. Okay. All right. So enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you back here next week, Tuesday, for Communications from Home. Enjoy your night. Bama Mina. That's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.